We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. What a wonderful and blessed day we're having today. What a wonderful and blessed day we're having. This is Daniel Bishop 9147 coming back to you on this beautiful, and I do mean it's an absolutely now beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful and blessed day, regardless where you're at in the world right now. Be sure to hug your loved ones and tell your loved ones that you love them each and every day because tomorrow's not promised. Certainly not guaranteed, folks. Now, with that being said, I'm sure everybody has heard about the topic we're on today. The topic, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Watts. Yes, Chris Watts has been an internet topic for the last couple years. Good and bad, mostly bad, for the horrible deaths of his family, which is Shanann Watts, Bella Watts, Cece Watts, and unborn child, Nico Watts. A lot of people is circulating today, yesterday, and day before yesterday of something big going down in the state of Colorado. Something big. Not only is it big, ladies and gentlemen, it pertains to Chris Watts and Chris Watts' sentence. Now, however, ladies and gentlemen, you have to take this with a grain of salt because even though we as a crime community, we're wishing for a trial. We're wishing for all of this evidence to come into play for once and for all. It's probably never going to happen. We have to understand that it's probably never going to happen. Now, everybody that's joining the chat, I'd like to say thank you for joining me on this Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you guys are blessed wherever you are. Be sure to stay warm as well. I know we got some terrible weather going on, especially right now in the state of Texas. And Kentucky right now, it's still got some snow, even though the temperatures today reached 50 degrees outside. I still have snow on my ground. Snow is still all over my vehicles. It's downright miserable. It really is. I wanted a white Christmas. I didn't want a white February. I don't think that's good at all. Now, with that being said, Ronnie Watts is with several other people right now. I'm not going to name their names, but Ronnie Watts is with several other people right now in Colorado with lawyers trying to file a motion of an appeal on behalf of Chris Watts. Now, we have to take this into consideration. Chris Watts, right now, within this moment, does not want that appeal. Chris Watts, within this moment, does not want to go back to Colorado. Chris Watts, within this moment right now, is content on where he is at in his life, where he is at right now, and he is content with his future, where he is at right now in his life and in prison. We have to take that into consideration. We have to take it into consideration. However, ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Watts, Cindy Watts, Jamie Watts, now married, are trying to push him in the other direction of getting this appeal. They're trying to encourage him to go for it, to make his life better, and to put everything out there on the table. And I do mean put everything out there on the table with evidence. That means bringing new people into play. However, Chris does not want this appeal. He does not want this motion filed. And at the end of the day, it's up to him to accept it. Ronnie Watts, Cindy, Jamie, his friends, his relatives, his supporters, his fan base can push him all that they want. But at the end of the day, if he chooses not to accept this appeal, it's up to him, and he makes the final decision. We have to speak on why does he not want to go to Colorado? Well, we have to look at it. Colorado knows him by every inch of his graying hair. Colorado knows everything about Chris Watts. That's where this big crime happened. Also, Colorado prisons are run mostly by gangs now. And if you do your research, Colorado's prisons are some of the most toughest prisons right now in the United States. The death rate of those prisons is even more astounding. That is number one reason he does not want to go back to Colorado, because he is in fear of his life. We have to take in consideration he is comfortable where he is at. He has leveled down where he is at. He's in general population where he is at. And if he goes back to Colorado, ladies and gentlemen, he's back to a one-man cell in confinement for 23 hours a day. He has to have guards with him while he goes to the library. He probably won't even get to go to the library. They probably bring the books to him. He has to have guards with him at all times when he showers. It's going to be hell for him again. He's not going to have the luxury that he has now in the prison which he is in. He's going back to the hole, for Pete's sakes, says. Going back to the hole. He is comfortable on where he is. And that is that. Second of all, ladies and gentlemen, what is the other reason he does not want the appeal? If he does the appeal, ladies and gentlemen, that means everything falls back into place evidence-wise. Now, we have to take into consideration that the DA from Colorado, once Chris Watts accepted this plea deal 2 years ago, once he accepted the plea deal 2 years ago, the DA from Colorado, within 1 year of him accepting this plea deal, destroyed most of the evidence that the prosecutors was going to use against him if this was brought to trial. Most of the evidence is destroyed. Physical evidence. Now, we know that there's archives. We know that, the computer stuff is still there. We know that the DNA diagnostic place, they keep stuff on records. So that is something to take into consideration as well. However, I want to leave you guys with this, ladies and gentlemen. To do a motion, a 35C, or an appeal to get his sentence reduced if it goes back to trial, or possibly to get the death penalty, you have to have some concrete evidence. You heard me right. You have to have some concrete evidence, because this is a last ditch effort. So before Ronnie Watts, Cindy Watts, fellow crime community people, take this before a lawyer, you have to have something that's concrete in evidence, that something the judge is going to look at and heavily consider, because this is a last ditch effort. There's no more after this. This is one and done right here. This is either the make it or the break it. So therefore, I feel as if Chris Watts does not want this appeal because of something sinister, ladies and gentlemen, something sinister and something evil. Which brings me to the other party that we all are thinking about. NK. All of us in the crime community, we're thinking about NK in this situation. How much did NK know? Exactly. How much did NK know? Now, with that being said, we've all heard the interviews, and Chris telling his daddy in the interview room she was not supposed to be there. We all know, ladies and gentlemen, that NK's phone pinged at 6 o'clock or 6:30 a.m. that morning in Frederick, Colorado. We also know about the neighbor saying that there was a suspicious truck sitting on the road that morning. The sinister thing is, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Watts is afraid to bring Nicole Kessinger into this. He's afraid to bring Nicole into this, possibly because Chris Watts' family was possibly threatened. His dad, Nicole's daddy, possibly threatened Chris Watts' parents because Nicole Kessinger's daddy is supposed to be a Mason, a Freemason. You can Google, you can do your research on that. It's proven. It's also proven, ladies and gentlemen, that NK is into Wicca. She's into witchcraft. She's also into the Freemason. She was born into that lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. She's an earthy kind of girl. Now, with that being said, I believe these are the sinister reasons why Chris Watts does not want this to go back to court. He's trying to not only protect. See, we all thought, ladies and gentlemen, that he's trying to protect Nicole Kessinger. We all assumed that. I thought that. I've thought that for 2 years now. He's been trying to protect NK. The thing is, I think at the end of the day, he's trying to protect his family. He's trying to protect his friends because of NK's daddy being a Freemason. And he knows if this is brought to trial, this is going to lift the lid off the can of worms. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. NK went into the police station with her daddy as a witness. We all know that. Some want to say she was a suspect, but she went in there as a witness to give a statement about how she deleted everything and she came with absolutely no evidence except a card. Well, here's a love letter that he wrote me and a poem. What is that? Really, what is that? But the thing is, Nicole's daddy directed the questions. Not only did Nicole's daddy direct the questions, he directed the answers. If my dad was alive, and if I was sitting in that same situation, my dad certainly could not be directing questions and directing answers. And I seriously doubt that your family could do the same as well. So therefore, I feel as if Chris Watts is wholeheartedly trying to protect his friends and his family. We all thought it was NK, but at the end of the day, it has to be about his family. Now, with that being said, hopefully this helps some of you all. Hopefully we will learn something from this. Hopefully, in my opinion, I do want a trial. I want to see all the truth, or what truth is left. I want to see this circus over. I want this case to be won and done. Now, with that being said, this is Daniel Bishop 9147 coming back to you on this beautiful and blessed Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you all have a great tomorrow. Be sure to hug your loved ones and tell your loved ones that you love them as much as possible, because tomorrow's not promised, certainly not guaranteed. Now, with that being said, we're all seeing the evils of the world right now, ladies and gentlemen, all evils of the world right now. So it's very, very important to get your children in touch with Christ right now. There's no better time like the present, because tomorrow's not promised. Now, with that being said, I want to post something on here if I can. My good friend, Astro Palette, is going through a terrible time right now. He's going through a terrible time right now. He has a major surgery he has to go through. He has severe complications, and he has set up a GoFundMe right now. And for anybody that could support him in this or support him in prayers, it would be greatly appreciated. I'm leaving the link. Hopefully, it goes through on the screen, and encourage all of you, if you can, to go check out his GoFundMe. Astral Pilot is a very wonderful individual, a very sweet, loving, caring man who has a wonderful family. And us in the crime community, we love Astral Pilot. He's a wonderful person. So I encourage all of you guys to check out this link that I had just left and go check it out. Anyways, this is Daniel Bishop. I'm signing out. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Till I see you next time. See you.